Hey, this is Matt once again. What about the other videos? Another paid request. This time for Arthur. Thank you so much for that. And for those into or open to requesting any other type of videos, pretty much any, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for an episode of Seinfeld, Season 4, Episode 16, called The Outing. Now, maybe this is because I reviewed another episode, which was Frasier, the TV show, which dealt with how you don't incorporate homosexual politics in the show without beating you over the head and at least making it funny. I would say Frasier, that episode I found funnier than this, but this was still pretty decent. And like Frasier, I didn't grow with Seinfeld, meaning I knew of Seinfeld, but I did not watch it when it was out. It wasn't on the channels that I was watching when I was growing up. Just had ABC, CBS, another form of CBS, and PBS during those days. And even like Jerry Seinfeld, he's fine as a comedian. You know, his stand-up in this episode, he does stand up at the very beginning and very end, which was, I think, a lot of episodes worked like that back in the day of his show. As I be not excited about birthdays. Great, you didn't die for 12 months. I thought that was pretty funny. And Seinfeld's kind of known as a show that's about nothing, but I think if you actually talk with the people who made it, it's like, well, people say that, but, you know, it's just about these characters that are... It seemed like a tamer precursor to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where these characters are not the most morally just. They screw up, they mess with each other. Granted, a lot tamer compared to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but it seems like a bit of a precursor to that. Because yeah, George, played by Jason Alexander, you know, talked with this lady who's like, I don't want to live anymore. Because of me? Come on, you do better than me. You got Elaine, played by Julie Louis-Dreyfus, who's willing to lie and be a bit of a conniving little shit. Like they're talking about in a diner about who's the most unattractive world leader, and she knows that someone's eavesdropping, so she just, out of the blue, goes, wow, Jerry and George, I'm glad you came out as gay. And what they don't realize is that the person eavesdropping is the person that wants to interview Jerry for this local newspaper. And so she thinks that they're gay, and they don't realize that until in the middle of it. And then they try to deny it, but she doesn't believe it. Just even during the interview, she's like, oh yeah, we met in gym class. Oh, wait, we're not gay? Not that there's anything wrong with that. And then that kind of ratchets up because of, yeah, Michael Richards as Kramer, who gave Jerry this two-way phone. And on the phone, he calls and, like, jokes with Jason Alexander and then talks with someone else. And Jason Alexander's like, I could hear you on the other line. And I'm like, what? So he, like, calls Kramer, and then Jason Alexander repeats what he said. And then I did like the line reading where Jerry's like, Kramer, this phone's a piece of junk. Goodbye. I thought that was a funny line reading. So this article comes out in the New York Post, and I've been outed, and I wasn't even in. And so their moms find out, and after that, not a whole lot happens. And I think the end, I thought the ending to the Frasier episode was a lot more satisfying. This seemed to be a bit of a resolution. Here, it kind of just ends, and it kind of just, okay, I guess it's over. It just, maybe that's the point, is that there's no resolution, and that's just how life is sometimes. Granted, I get you that. One quick note before I forget, I didn't grow up with this show, but another show I grew up with because my aunt sent tapes of the show, videotaped with a bunch of episodes on each one, and that was a TV show called Alf, ALF, and I'm like, oh wow, Jerry's mom is Mrs. Otmonic. On the TV show Elf, there was the family had neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Otmonic, and Mrs. Otmonic is the one who plays the mom, Jerry's mom on the show. So I'm like, oh wow, I remember her. I forget the actress's name. It pretty much ends with Jason Alexander finds a way if I tell her that to show this paper that I'm gay, then she'll leave and she'll leave me alone. And then Jerry's kissing a lady, and pretty much she leaves. It ends with Kramer. There was a funny moment before where Kramer believes in the paper and not them. Well, come on, Jerry Bates says you're single, you're this age. Well, so are you. And like Kramer's reaction, like he goes in. So at the end, you see him with a guy, and Jerry and George are like, what the hell? He's the phone man to fix that phone. Oh, and then the episode ends there. There's a lot of times where someone goes, not that there's anything wrong with that. Like I said, I just found the Frasier episode a bit funnier, wittier, punchy with his dialogue, but this was decent. I mean, this was an easy 20 minutes or so to watch. You know, the actors worked well. Like I said, Jerry Seinfeld, I didn't grow up with him and his style of comedy, but he worked fine. Jason Alexander, I mean, I remember him from seeing bit roles in films like Jacob's Ladder and other stuff. Kramer, I mean, what I remember Michael Richards is that meltdown he had where he was doing stand-up and then he said all this racist stuff and just absolutely torpedoed his career to the point that no one will ever forget that now. Because it's just so, like, what the fuck did this come from type of quality. And it's not even like he was drunk on drugs, some type of excuse of that nature. It's just, I don't know what the deal was. But I think that's the thing people remember Michael Richards more for now. I mean, the way it's shot is shot like a sitcom. You get, I want to say laugh tracks, but I think it's supposed to be. I'm trying to remember if they said that it's they try out the jokes to get sincere laughs, and if it doesn't, they want to work it so that you'll get sincere laugh. I just say that because there's not much to talk about in terms of music or production or cinematography. It's like a TV show, which is fine. Like I said, it was alright. It was nothing remarkable. It got a couple chuckles out of me. Like I said, why we celebrate birthdays? Congrats, you didn't die for 12 months. Or the little bits of Kramer, I will admit that they were funny. And I've been outed. I wasn't even in. That's a good line. I think, again, because I thought Frasier, like I said, something about the way they interacted just felt a bit funnier to me, just felt a bit faster, quicker to me. And the way, like, Frasier's brother was laughing behind his back and playing along with the person. And then tells his dad, you hear the laughing in the background and all this stuff. Plus, I don't mind Jerry Seinfeld, but I still felt like Kelsey Grammer was just much more energetic in his role on that episode of Frasier compared to Seinfeld here. Like I say, it's fine. Don't really have a lot of issues with it. And at the very least, this is back to the day when you could talk about this stuff and it wasn't a lecture. It wasn't a finger pointing session. Which sadly, that can't be the case now. Because if we don't finger point you, no, take the finger stick up your ass. But this was still not bad. Not bad at all. So thank you, Arthur. Thank you guys for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.